Rex Whistler. Reginald John Rex Whistler was born on June 24, 1905, in Eltham, Kent, England, into a family with a modest yet supportive background. His father, Henry Whistler, was a builder, and his mother, Helen Mary Whistler, encouraged her son's early artistic interests. Whistler grew up in a creative environment that fostered his talents from a young age. He was the elder of two sons, and his childhood was marked by a strong sense of imagination and creativity. From an early age, Whistler showed a prodigious talent for drawing and painting. His fascination with storytelling and mythology, as well as his interests in historical themes, were evident in his early works. He was also influenced by his visits to London museums and galleries, where he was captivated by the works of old masters and the decorative arts, which would later become significant influences in his career. Whistler's formal education in the arts began at the prestigious St. Paul's School in London, where his talent was recognized and nurtured. He then briefly attended the Royal Academy schools, but found the environment too rigid and uninspiring for his imaginative style. He was subsequently expelled, a setback that would have discouraged many young artists, but only seemed to propel Whistler toward finding his true artistic path. In 1922, he enrolled at the Slade School of Fine Art, part of University College London, which was known for its progressive approach to art education. It was at the Slade that Whistler truly thrived, developing his distinctive style characterized by elaborate, whimsical, and often fantastical imagery. His teachers included the celebrated Henry Tonks, whose emphasis on technical skill and draughtsmanship greatly influenced Whistler's approach to art. At the Slade, Whistler became friends with notable contemporaries such as Stephen Tennant, Cecil Beaton, and the Sitwell siblings, Edith Osbert and Sacheverell Sitwell, who were key figures in British cultural circles. These connections opened doors for Whistler, leading to commissions and introductions to high society, where his talents as a muralist and painter of imaginative, theatrical scenes were highly sought after. Whistler's career took off in the 1920s with his first major commission, a mural for the Tate Gallery restaurant, completed in 1927, known as the Expedition in Pursuit of Rare Meats. This whimsical and elaborate mural showcased his ability to blend fantasy with meticulous historical detail, drawing from his love of classical art, Rococo design, and romantic landscapes. The mural was a resounding success and established Whistler as a leading artist of decorative arts in England. Whistler became known for his murals, book illustrations, set and costume designs for the theater, and portraits. His style was characterized by an elegant, romantic, and often playful aesthetic, with influences from the Renaissance, Baroque, and 18th century European art. He was particularly skilled in trompe-l'oeil, a technique that creates the illusion of three-dimensional space on a flat surface, which he used to great effect in his murals. Rex Whistler lived through a time of significant change in Britain, marked by the aftermath of World War I, the Great Depression, and the lead-up to World War II. The interwar period in Britain was characterized by social and economic upheaval, which influenced the art world as well. Despite these challenges, Whistler found success and was able to thrive as an artist due to his unique style and the patronage of British high society. However, his life was not without personal challenges. Whistler was known to have struggled with his self-confidence and often felt overshadowed by more avant-garde artists of his time, such as his contemporary Edward Burrough. Despite his popularity among the British elite, Whistler sometimes felt that his work was not taken as seriously by the modernist art community, which favored abstraction and more radical styles. Rex Whistler never married, and his romantic life was marked by unfulfilled and often unrequited loves. He was infatuated with several women throughout his life, including Lady Caroline Paget, who became his muse and for whom he harbored deep, though largely unreciprocated, feelings. Whistler's love life was a source of personal sadness and longing, as his relationships often remained platonic or unfulfilled. Whistler was known for his charm and wit, and he moved comfortably within the circles of British high society. He enjoyed friendships with many prominent figures of his time, and these relationships often inspired his work. However, his personal life was also marked by a certain melancholy, as he struggled with the expectations of his social circle and his own desires for deeper connections. With the outbreak of World War II, Whistler's career, like that of many artists, was interrupted. Driven by a sense of duty and patriotism, he enlisted in the British Army in 1940, joining the Welsh Guards as a second lieutenant. Whistler's artistic skills were put to use designing camouflage and propaganda materials, but he was keen to serve on the front lines. Tragically, on July 18, 1944, during the Allied invasion of Normandy, Rex Whistler was killed in action near Caen, France. He was 39 years old. Whistler died while leading a tank attack, making him one of the many artists and intellectuals who lost their lives in the war. He is buried in the Banneville-la-Campagne war cemetery in Normandy, France. Rex Whistler's legacy lies in his unique contribution to British art and design, particularly through his murals and illustrations. His work is celebrated for its technical brilliance, imaginative scope, and ability to transport viewers into fantastical, beautifully crafted worlds. Although his style was often considered anachronistic compared to the modernist trends of his time, Whistler's work has continued to be appreciated for its craftsmanship and whimsical charm. Posthumously, Whistler's work has been reevaluated and celebrated, with exhibitions and retrospectives highlighting his role as a significant figure in early 20th century British art. His murals, especially those at the Tate Gallery and Place Nude on the Isle of Anglesey, remain enduring examples of his artistic vision. His influence can also be seen in contemporary decorative arts, where his blending of historical references with a modern sensibility continues to inspire. Rex Whistler's life and career were marked by a blend of triumph, unfulfilled desires, and ultimate sacrifice. His contributions to art, both in his own time and beyond, reflect a dedication to beauty, imagination, and the power of storytelling through visual art. Here are 5 of the most famous works by Rex Whistler. The Expedition in Pursuit of Rare Meats. The Expedition in Pursuit of Rare Meats is a large-scale mural commissioned for the Tate Gallery restaurant in 1927. The mural depicts a whimsical, elaborate scene of a fantastical hunt led by explorers in a mythic, Rococo-style landscape. The composition is rich with detail, featuring a mix of imaginary creatures, eccentric figures, and lush, decorative elements. The colors are vibrant, with a palette that includes deep reds, blues, and golds. The mural is designed to wrap around the space, creating an immersive experience for viewers. This work reflects Whistler's fascination with historical and fantastical themes, combining elements of 18th century Rococo with his own imaginative flair. The mural can be seen as a playful commentary on the pursuit of rare and exotic experiences, mirroring the opulence and curiosity of the era. Whistler's use of vivid colors and elaborate design elements highlights the extravagance of the subject matter, while also showcasing his skill in creating a visually engaging and entertaining narrative. The Fantasy of a Landscape. The Fantasy of a Landscape is a mural that exemplifies Whistler's love for fantastical and historical imagery. The work features a highly detailed and imaginative landscape, populated by classical and mythical figures. The scene is rendered with a surreal quality, using a palette of rich, muted colors and intricate patterns. The composition is both dynamic and balanced, with a focus on elaborate architectural elements and lush foliage. This piece reflects Whistler's interest in blending historical references with fantasy, creating a dreamlike environment that invites viewers to escape reality. The inclusion of mythical and classical elements speaks to the artist's fascination with past epochs and their aesthetics. The mural can be interpreted as a commentary on the power of imagination and the allure of historical grandeur, offering a visual narrative that transcends time and space. The Whistler Room at Place Nude. The Whistler Room at Place Nude, located on the Isle of Anglesey, features a series of murals created by Whistler between 1927 and 1929. The room's decor includes whimsical and detailed scenes of classical and mythical figures, set against a richly decorated backdrop. The murals cover the walls and ceiling, creating an immersive experience with a combination of mythological themes and elaborate design motifs. The Whistler Room reflects Whistler's mastery of decorative arts and his ability to transform a space into a living artwork. The murals embody themes of myth and fantasy, celebrating classical mythology and the decorative arts in a way that embraces the architectural space. The room itself becomes a stage for Whistler's creative vision, blending art and environment into a cohesive and enchanting experience. Portrait of Lady Caroline Paget. Portrait of Lady Caroline Paget is a striking portrait of one of Whistler's notable muses and friends. The painting features Lady Caroline in an elegant pose with an elaborate, patterned background. Whistler's use of color and texture in the portrait highlights his skill in capturing both the subject's personality and the opulence of her attire. The portrait is characterized by its intricate details and sophisticated use of light and shadow. The portrait reflects Whistler's ability to convey the personality and status of his sitters through a combination of detailed realism and artistic stylization. Lady Caroline's portrayal is not just a depiction of her physical appearance, but also a representation of her social position and the era's elegance. The portrait underscores Whistler's interest in blending decorative elements with personal likeness, creating a work that is both visually compelling and rich in character. The Mural of the Café Royal. The Mural of the Café Royal was commissioned for the Café Royal in London, and although it no longer exists in its original form, it was a notable work of its time. The mural depicted a fantastical scene with mythological references and extravagant decorative details. The composition was known for its dynamic use of color and intricate patterns, creating a visually stimulating environment for the cafe's patrons. The mural served as both an artistic statement and an enhancement of the cafe's luxurious atmosphere. Whistler's use of mythological and historical elements was intended to evoke a sense of grandeur and escapism, aligning with the opulent character of the Café Royal. The work is an example of how Whistler used his artistic talents to elevate everyday spaces into realms of fantasy and elegance. Other well-known works by Rex Whistler: The Poet's Garden, The Story of the Canterbury Pilgrims, The Hunting of the Snark Mural, The Triumph of Bacchus, The Water Garden. These works, like the 5 listed above, showcase Whistler's distinctive style and his contributions to decorative and figurative art. His ability to merge historical references with imaginative flair remains a key aspect of his artistic legacy. Rex Whistler's legacy is marked by his distinctive and imaginative approach to art. His work remains influential in several ways. Number 1. Decorative arts. Whistler's murals and set designs are celebrated for their elaborate and whimsical qualities. His ability to transform spaces with his imaginative vision continues to be admired in both historical and contemporary contexts. His work in decorative arts helped to popularize a style that combined historical references with a modern sensibility. Number 2. Theatrical design. Whistler made significant contributions to theatrical design, bringing a sense of fantasy and historical richness to stage productions. His work in this field influenced subsequent generations of designers and remains a reference point for the integration of art and performance. Number 3. Cultural impact. Although he was not always aligned with the avant-garde movements of his time, Whistler's work has been re-evaluated and appreciated for its unique charm and craftsmanship. His murals, particularly those in the Café Royal and Place Nude, are seen as masterpieces of early 20th century British art. Number 4. Revival of interest. Posthumously, Whistler's work has experienced a revival of interest. Exhibitions and retrospectives have highlighted his artistic achievements and contributions to British art. This renewed interest underscores his place in art history and the continued relevance of his imaginative and decorative approach. Number 5. Influence on contemporary artists. Whistler's work has influenced contemporary artists who appreciate the blend of historical and fantasy elements in his art. His use of elaborate designs and storytelling through visual art continues to inspire and inform modern artistic practices. Rex Whistler's life and career were marked by both artistic brilliance and personal sacrifice. His contributions to art, particularly in the realms of murals and theatrical design, have left an enduring legacy that continues to be celebrated. Despite the challenges and ultimate tragedy of his early death, Whistler's work remains a testament to his creativity and the impact he made on British art and culture. Alexandra Exter. Alexandra Exter was born on December 6, 1882 in Bethune, a small town in the Chernihiv Governorate of the Russian Empire, now part of Ukraine. She came from a well-to-do family. Her father, who was a landowner, provided her with the stability and resources that allowed her to pursue her artistic ambitions. From an early age, Exter was drawn to the arts, influenced by the rich cultural environment of her family and the artistic traditions of the region. Exter's formative years were spent in the late Russian Empire, a period marked by significant social and political upheaval. The early 20th century was a time of dramatic change in Russia, with the 1917 Russian Revolution leading to the establishment of the Soviet regime. This era saw the rise of various avant-garde movements, which played a crucial role in shaping the cultural and artistic landscape. Exter's artistic education began at the Kiev Art School, where she was exposed to a variety of artistic styles and techniques. She furthered her studies at the Moscow School of Painting, Sculpture, and Architecture, where she was influenced by prominent figures of the Russian avant-garde, such as Kazimir Malevich and Vasily Kandinsky. These experiences were instrumental in shaping her unique style, which combined elements of Cubism, Futurism, and Constructivism. Throughout her career, Exter faced numerous challenges, particularly during the tumultuous political changes in Russia. The rise of Soviet socialist realism and the subsequent repression of avant-garde movements posed significant obstacles for artists like Exter. The political environment often led to difficulties in exhibiting and promoting her work. Despite these challenges, she continued to produce and exhibit her art, adapting her style to the changing political and social climate. Alexandra Exter married the artist and critic Alexei Exter in 1910. The couple's marriage was both a personal and professional partnership, as they collaborated on various projects and shared a deep commitment to the avant-garde movement. However, their relationship faced strains due to the political and social upheavals of the time. Exter's personal life was marked by significant transitions, including moving between different countries as she navigated the changing artistic and political landscapes of Europe. One of the most intriguing aspects of Exter's life was her involvement in the vibrant artistic circles of Europe. She was closely associated with influential figures in the avant-garde movements and participated in major exhibitions across Europe, including those in Paris and Berlin. Exter's work was known for its innovative use of color, form, and abstraction, reflecting her deep engagement with contemporary artistic trends. Her contributions to art extended beyond painting. She was also a pioneer in the field of theatrical design, creating costumes and sets for various productions. Her work in this area was highly regarded and further demonstrated her versatility and creativity. Alexandra Exter's life and career were a testament to her resilience and artistic vision. Despite facing significant challenges due to the political and social upheavals of her time, she remained a key figure in the avant-garde movements and made lasting contributions to modern art. Her innovative approach and dedication to her craft continue to be celebrated, and her legacy endures in the fields of painting, design, and theatrical arts. Here are 5 most famous works by Alexandra Exter. The Red Square, 1914. The Red Square is a vibrant work that exemplifies Exter's engagement with Cubism and Futurism. The painting features bold geometric shapes and dynamic forms arranged in a vivid red, white, and black palette. The composition is characterized by its fragmented, abstracted forms that create a sense of movement and energy. This work reflects Exter's interest in the dynamic nature of urban life and modernity. The use of geometric abstractions conveys the bustling, energetic atmosphere of Moscow's Red Square, capturing both the physical and symbolic essence of this iconic location. The piece also reflects the broader trends in early 20th century avant-garde art, focusing on abstraction and the exploration of new visual languages. The Tragedy of the World, 1924. The Tragedy of the World is a powerful, dramatic painting featuring dark, somber tones and a composition that evokes a sense of turmoil and conflict. The work includes abstracted human figures and chaotic forms, rendered in deep blues and blacks with striking highlights of red. This painting is a reflection on the social and political upheavals of the early 20th century. Exter uses abstract forms and intense colors to express the emotional and psychological impact of global events, such as wars and revolutions. The work conveys a sense of despair and crisis, while also highlighting the artist's response to the turbulent times she lived through. Costume Design for the Firebird, 1926. This work is a costume design for the ballet The Firebird, showcasing Exter's skill in theatrical design. The design features bold, geometric patterns and vibrant colors that align with her modernistic aesthetic. The costumes are both stylized and abstract, reflecting the fantastical and mythical elements of the ballet. The costume design captures the essence of the mythical Firebird character and the overall theme of the ballet. Exter's innovative approach to costume design highlights her ability to translate her avant-garde sensibilities into theatrical contexts. The use of abstract patterns and bright colors enhances the visual impact of the performance and demonstrates her contribution to modern stage design. Composition in red, blue, and yellow, 1919. This abstract work features a harmonious arrangement of geometric shapes and primary colors. The composition is characterized by its clean lines and balanced forms, creating a visually striking piece that emphasizes the interaction of color and form. The painting reflects Exter's exploration of abstraction and her engagement with the principles of constructivism. The use of primary colors and geometric forms illustrates her interest in reducing visual elements to their essentials, creating a sense of clarity and order. The work also demonstrates her influence by the Russian avant-garde and her contribution to the development of modernist art. The Return of the Prodigal Son, 1922. This painting presents an abstracted interpretation of the biblical parable, featuring fragmented forms and a subdued color palette. The composition includes dynamic, intersecting shapes that suggest the narrative of the prodigal son's return and reconciliation. Exter's interpretation of this classic biblical story is infused with modernist abstraction, reflecting her innovative approach to traditional subjects. The fragmented forms and muted colors convey the emotional complexity of the narrative, while also highlighting the artist's ability to reinterpret familiar themes through a contemporary lens. Apart from these 5 notable works, Alexandra Exter is also known for her abstract compositions, other costume and set designs, and various innovative works that contributed to the avant-garde movement. Her oeuvre includes pieces that span a range of styles and media, further demonstrating her versatility and impact on modern art. Alexandra Exter was a significant figure in the development of the Russian avant-garde movement, particularly the constructivist and cubist styles. Constructivism, which emerged in Russia in the early 20th century, was characterized by its focus on abstract, geometric forms and a rejection of traditional artistic methods. Exter's work played a crucial role in shaping this movement, especially through her innovative use of color, form, and her contributions to theatrical design. Exter was deeply influenced by several key figures in the early 20th century avant-garde scene. Her exposure to Cubism and Futurism was pivotal, especially the works of artists like Pablo Picasso and Giorgio de Chirico. Picasso's exploration of fragmented forms and abstraction resonated with Exter, and she incorporated these elements into her own work, blending them with her unique vision. Additionally, the dynamic compositions and emphasis on movement found in Futurism provided her with a framework to experiment with form and color. Exter studied at the Kiev Art School and the Moscow School of Painting, Sculpture, and Architecture. At these institutions, she was influenced by leading avant-garde artists and teachers such as Kazimir Malevich, a key proponent of suprematism, and Vasily Kandinsky, whose work in abstract art and color theory had a profound impact on Exter's artistic approach. Their mentorship helped shape her understanding of modernist principles and encouraged her experimentation with new artistic languages. Exter's approach was characterized by several innovative practices. Theatrical design. Exter brought a modernist sensibility to costume and set design, utilizing abstract forms and vibrant colors to enhance the visual impact of theatrical productions. Her designs for ballets like The Firebird were notable for their bold geometric patterns and integration of avant-garde aesthetics into stagecraft. Color and form. Her use of color was often experimental, applying bold primary colors in abstract compositions that emphasized geometric precision and dynamic interaction between shapes. This approach was a departure from the more traditional use of color and form in art, contributing to the evolution of constructivism. Abstract abstractions. Exter's paintings often featured fragmented, abstracted forms that were influenced by Cubism, but also reflected her unique style. Her ability to convey complex themes through simplified forms and colors demonstrated her innovative approach to abstraction. Constructivism was an art movement that emerged in Russia in the 1910s, emphasizing abstract, geometric forms and a focus of the materiality of art. It was a response to the social and political changes of the time, aiming to create art that was relevant to the modern industrial society. Constructivists sought to reject traditional artistic techniques in favor of new, innovative approaches that reflected the technological and social advancements of the era. Exter was influenced by a variety of materials, including collage. She utilized collage techniques to create dynamic compositions, combining various materials and textures to add depth and interest to her work. Mixed media. Her use of mixed media allowed her to experiment with different textures and surfaces, contributing to the innovative quality of her designs. Geometric shapes. The incorporation of geometric shapes and bold colors was central to her style, reflecting her engagement with modernist principles and her interest in exploring the visual impact of abstraction. Overall, Alexandra Exter's contributions to art were marked by her innovative use of form, color, and material, which helped shape the development of constructivism and modernist art. Her work in both painting and theatrical design left a lasting impact on the avant-garde movement and continues to be celebrated for its creativity and originality. In the later years of her life, Alexandra Exter faced a series of significant challenges and changes. The political landscape in Russia was shifting dramatically during the early 1930s as the Soviet government increasingly cracked down on avant-garde and modernist art. The rise of Stalinism and the push for socialist realism led to a suppression of many modernist movements, including constructivism, which Exter had been a leading figure in. Despite these challenges, Exter continued to work and adapt her artistic practice. She focused more on applied arts, including theater and design, adapting her innovative style to the constraints imposed by the changing political climate. Her work during this period reflected a shift towards more socially and politically acceptable themes, although her avant-garde roots remained evident. The major historical changes that affected Exter in her later years included the rise of Stalinism. The consolidation of Stalin's power in the Soviet Union led to the persecution of many artists associated with avant-garde movements. Exter, along with many of her contemporaries, faced increasing pressure to conform to the new artistic norms dictated by the state. The shift to socialist realism. The Soviet government's endorsement of socialist realism as the official artistic style meant that artists like Exter, who had been associated with avant-garde movements, found themselves marginalized. This period saw a significant shift in the cultural landscape of the Soviet Union, with many modernist artists being sidelined or persecuted. Alexandra Exter did not have direct descendants, but her influence extended through her students and followers. She had a significant impact on younger generations of artists and designers, both in Russia and internationally. Her innovative approach to art and design influenced numerous artists who came after her, and her work continued to be studied and celebrated by scholars and art historians. Alexandra Exter passed away on March 17, 1949, in Paris, France. Her death marked the end of a significant chapter in modernist art, but her legacy lived on. She was buried in the Montparnasse Cemetery in Paris, a resting place for many prominent artists and intellectuals of her time. After her death, Alexandra Exter's contributions to art and culture continued to be recognized and celebrated. Her innovative work in both painting and theater design had a lasting impact on the development of modern art. She is remembered for her pioneering role in constructivism and her ability to integrate avant-garde aesthetics into various forms of artistic expression. Exter's influence can be seen in the continued exploration of abstract forms and dynamic compositions in contemporary art. Her contributions to costume and set design have also been acknowledged in the field of theater and performance art, where her innovative approach to visual storytelling continues to inspire new generations of artists and designers. Overall, Alexandra Exter's legacy remains a testament to her creativity, resilience, and significant role in shaping the modernist art movement. Her work continues to be studied and celebrated for its originality and impact on the trajectory of 20th century art. Hugo Schieber. Hugo Schieber was born on September 29, 1873, in Budapest, Hungary, during a time when the Austro-Hungarian Empire was a major European power. The empire was a complex and multicultural entity, with Hungary being a vital part of its dual monarchy. This period saw significant social and political changes, including the rise of industrialization, which influenced the cultural landscape of the time. Schieber came from a modest family background, which played a role in shaping his early life and aspirations. His father was a sign painter, which introduced Hugo to the world of visual art from a young age. This early exposure to craftsmanship and the visual aspects of his father's work laid the foundation for his future artistic endeavors. However, the family's financial situation was precarious, limiting Schieber's opportunities for formal education and exposure to high culture in his formative years. Growing up in Budapest, Schieber was influenced by the city's vibrant cultural scene, which was marked by a blend of traditional Hungarian art and the burgeoning modernist movements from Western Europe. Hungary, like much of Europe at the time, was experiencing a shift in artistic expression, with movements such as Impressionism, Expressionism, and later, Futurism, challenging traditional artistic norms. Despite his family's financial struggles, Schieber pursued his passion for art. He initially worked as an apprentice sign painter, following in his father's footsteps, but he was determined to expand his artistic horizons. He eventually enrolled in art school in Budapest, where he studied under notable Hungarian artists. However, his education was somewhat fragmented, as he often had to balance his studies with work to support himself financially. Schieber's artistic style was heavily influenced by the dynamic cultural environment of early 20th century Europe. He was particularly drawn to the Expressionist and Futurist movements, which were characterized by bold colors, dynamic compositions, and a focus on modern life and movement. Schieber's work often depicted scenes of urban life, capturing the energy and chaos of the modern world. His use of vibrant colors and abstract forms reflected the influence of Futurism, while his expressive brushwork and emotional intensity were rooted in Expressionism. The political and social circumstances of Schieber's time also left a mark on his work. Hungary was undergoing significant changes, including the aftermath of World War I, the fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the turbulent interwar period. These events had a profound impact on the country, leading to economic hardship and political instability. As an artist, Schieber navigated these challenges while trying to establish himself in the competitive European art scene. Despite his talent, Schieber faced numerous adversities throughout his life. His work was not always well received in Hungary, where the art establishment was often conservative and resistant to modernist influences. Schieber found more recognition abroad, particularly in Germany and Italy, where the avant-garde movements were more established. He exhibited his work in major European cities, including Berlin, where he became associated with the Der Strom Gallery, a hub for modernist art. Schieber's personal life was marked by both passion and turmoil. He married, but his marriage was not without its challenges. The pressures of his career, financial difficulties, and the volatile political situation in Hungary strained his personal relationships. There is no detailed record of significant criminal activities or imprisonment, but like many artists of his time, Schieber likely faced periods of hardship and uncertainty. One interesting fact about Hugo Schieber is that he was part of a group of Hungarian artists who embraced modernism despite the conservative tendencies of their homeland. His work contributed to the broader European avant-garde movement, and he is remembered today for his unique style that combined elements of expressionism and futurism with a distinctly Hungarian sensibility. Here are 5 of the most famous works by Hugo Schieber. Lady with Red Hat. Lady with Red Hat is a vibrant and dynamic portrait that features a stylish woman wearing a large, bright red hat. The painting is characterized by Schieber's signature use of bold, expressive lines and intense colors, particularly reds, blacks, and yellows. The woman is depicted in an angular and somewhat abstract manner, with sharp features and exaggerated proportions. Her eyes are striking, adding a sense of allure and mystery to the portrait. The background is often simplified, focusing attention on the central figure. This work captures the spirit of modernity and the fashionable urban life of the early 20th century. The use of bright colors and abstract forms reflects the influence of futurism and expressionism, movements that celebrated modernity and the energy of the city. The woman's confident gaze and flamboyant hat suggest themes of individuality, style, and the liberated modern woman. Schieber's choice of a red hat in particular may symbolize passion, boldness, and the vibrant energy of city life. The Saxophonist. The Saxophonist is a dynamic portrayal of a jazz musician playing a saxophone, rendered in Schieber's distinctive style. The painting captures the movement and energy of the musician through swirling lines and exaggerated forms. The figure is often shown mid-performance, with his body and instrument almost merging into a single, fluid form. The use of bright, contrasting colors like blues, yellows, and reds, along with sharp lines and geometric shapes, gives the work a sense of rhythm and movement. This piece reflects Schieber's fascination with the modern cultural scene, particularly the popularity of jazz music in Europe during the 1920s and 1930s. Jazz, with its improvisational style and rhythmic complexity, was emblematic of the vibrant, chaotic, and rapidly changing modern world. By depicting the saxophonist in such an energetic and abstract manner, Schieber captures the spontaneity and emotional intensity of jazz music. The work can be seen as a celebration of urban nightlife and the cultural melting pot of the modern city. Circus. Circus is a lively and colorful depiction of a circus performance, featuring performers such as acrobats, clowns, and animals. The composition is packed with overlapping figures, creating a sense of movement and chaos that mirrors the energetic atmosphere of a circus. Schieber employs his typical bold lines and bright color palette, using reds, blues, and yellows to convey the excitement and spectacle of the scene. The figures are rendered in a stylized and somewhat abstract manner with exaggerated poses and expressions. The circus was a recurring theme in Schieber's work, symbolizing the unpredictability and spectacle of life. In this painting, the chaotic and overlapping figures can be interpreted as a metaphor for the complexity and hustle of modern urban existence. The circus performers, with their exaggerated expressions and movements, reflect the performative aspects of life in a city, where individuals often play roles and put on appearances. The piece captures the tension between reality and illusion, a theme that resonates with the broader artistic movements of the time. City Lights. City Lights is an abstract representation of a bustling cityscape at night, illuminated by bright electric lights. The composition is dominated by geometric shapes and vivid colors, with streaks of light that cut through the canvas in sharp angles. The painting conveys the energy and vibrancy of a city at night, with a focus on the interplay of light and shadow. The forms are simplified and stylized, capturing the essence of the city rather than its literal appearance. This work reflects Schieber's fascination with urban life and the impact of technology on the modern city. The bright lights and sharp lines symbolize progress, industrialization, and relentless pace of city living. The abstract style allows Schieber to convey the sensory overload and dynamic environment of the city, where lights blur and merge in a kaleidoscope of color. The piece can be seen as a celebration of modernity, but also as a commentary on the alienation and fragmentation that often accompanies urbanization. Cabaret scene. Cabaret scene depicts a lively cabaret performance with musicians, dancers, and an audience immersed in the entertainment. The painting is characterized by its vibrant colors, expressive lines, and a composition that captures the chaotic energy of the scene. Figures are depicted in motion, with elongated limbs and exaggerated gestures, giving the work a sense of rhythm and fluidity. The use of bold reds, blacks, and blues enhances the dramatic and theatrical atmosphere. This work is a reflection of the cabaret culture that was popular in Europe, particularly in cities like Berlin and Budapest, during the early 20th century. Cabarets were spaces of artistic experimentation, social commentary, and often submersive performances. Schieber's depiction of the cabaret captures both the excitement and the decadence of the nightlife. The stylized, almost cartoonish figures may also reflect the superficiality and transient nature of such entertainment, highlighting themes of escapism and the contrast between appearance and reality. Other well-known works by Hugo Schieber: Portrait of a Woman with Green Eyes, Self-Portrait, The Pianist, Train Station, Clown and Harlequin. These works, like his most famous pieces, reflect Schieber's fascination with modern life, his innovative use of color and form, and his ability to capture the essence of early 20th century European culture. In the later years of Hugo Schieber's life, he continued to produce art, although he faced considerable challenges, both personally and professionally. By the 1930s and 1940s, the political landscape in Hungary and Europe had become increasingly fraught, with the rise of fascism, the onset of World War II, and the subsequent occupation of Hungary by Nazi Germany. These turbulent historical changes deeply affected Schieber, as they did many artists of his time. During the war, the art market in Hungary and across Europe was in decline, and the opportunities for modernist artists were severely limited. The oppressive political climate was hostile to avant-garde art, which was often labeled as degenerate by the fascist regimes. Schieber, whose work was aligned with the avant-garde movements, found it increasingly difficult to exhibit and sell his art. He faced financial difficulties, as well as the broader challenges of living under an authoritarian regime that did not support the freedoms essential to his artistic expression. There is limited information on Schieber's personal life in his later years, including details about his descendants, followers, or direct heirs. However, he remained a significant figure within the Hungarian art community, admired for his commitment to modernist principles and his ability to capture the spirit of the times. He did not establish a formal school or movement of followers, but his distinctive style and thematic focus influenced other Hungarian artists who were drawn to the avant-garde. Hugo Schieber died on March 7, 1950, in Budapest, Hungary. His death marked the end of a career that spanned the heights of European modernism and the depths of wartime hardship. Unfortunately, the details of his final resting place, including the location of his grave, are not well documented or widely known, reflecting the broader neglect of his legacy in the years immediately following his death. Despite the challenges he faced, Schieber's contributions to contemporary art are significant. His work is a vivid representation of the modernist movement in Hungary, characterized by its bold colors, dynamic compositions, and focus on the rapidly changing urban environment of the early 20th century. Schieber's ability to blend elements of futurism, expressionism, and his unique vision helped to push Hungarian art in new directions, even as the political landscape grew more restrictive. After his death, Schieber's work experienced a revival of interest, particularly as art historians and collectors sought to rediscover the contributions of artists marginalized by the political events of their time. Today, his paintings are appreciated for their vibrant energy and their documentation of the modernist aesthetic. Exhibitions of Schieber's work, both in Hungary and internationally, have helped to reestablish his reputation as a key figure in the European avant-garde. His legacy continues to inspire contemporary artists who explore the themes of modernity, urban life, and the human condition. Hugo Schieber's life and work remain a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of art, even in the face of historical adversity. His contributions to the cultural landscape of his time have ensured his place in the history of modern art, and his vibrant depictions of early 20th century life continue to resonate with audiences today. Growing up in a middle-class family, Arpka was exposed to the arts from an early age, as his parents had a keen interest in culture and the visual arts. The Hamburg of his youth was a bustling port city undergoing significant changes, marked by rapid industrialization and modernization. Arpka's formative years were shaped by the political and social upheavals of early 20th century Germany. The country was experiencing the late stages of the Kaiserreich, followed by the Weimar Republic, a period characterized by both cultural flourishing and economic instability. The social landscape was marked by stark contrasts between the opulence of the urban elite and the struggles of the working class. This dynamic environment, coupled with the political turbulence of the era, influenced Arpka's artistic vision and approach. During his career, Arpka faced numerous challenges. The economic instability of the Weimar Republic and the rise of the Nazi regime created a difficult environment for artists. The political shifts affected his career opportunities and his ability to exhibit and sell his work. Despite these adversities, Arpka's commitment to his art remained steadfast, and he continued to produce influential works that captured the spirit of his time. Otto Arpka married Lisbeth Arpka, and their relationship was a significant influence on his work and personal life. There are no records of imprisonment or criminal activities associated with him. However, like many artists of his time, he faced the difficulties of navigating an unstable political landscape and economic hardship, which impacted his career and personal life. Arpka was known for his unique integration of Art Deco elements into his work, reflecting both the glamour and the modernity of the 1920s. His art often featured streamlined, geometric forms and a sophisticated color palette, characteristic of the Art Deco movement. Additionally, Arpka's work in commercial design and illustration further showcased his versatility and adaptation to the evolving artistic and cultural demands of his era. Arpka's life and career were emblematic of the challenges faced by many artists during a period of great social and political change. His contributions to Art Deco and his resilience in the face of adversity remain a testament to his artistic talent and dedication. Notable works. Number 1. The Modern Woman. This portrait is a quintessential example of Art Deco aesthetics, featuring a sleek, streamlined depiction of a woman. The work is characterized by geometric shapes, bold colors, and elegant lines. The subject is portrayed with a sophisticated and fashionable demeanor set against a background of abstract patterns that enhance the modern, luxurious feel of the piece. The modern woman celebrates contemporary femininity and sophistication, reflecting the glamour and opulence of the 1920s. The use of geometric forms and bold contrasts underscores the era's fascination with modernity and elegance. The artwork can be seen as a tribute to the evolving role of women in society and their representation in contemporary culture. Number 2. Urban Landscape. This painting captures the dynamic cityscape of Hamburg using angular shapes and vibrant colors. The composition focuses on the architectural elements of the city, creating an abstract representation of urban life. The use of bold lines and color contrasts conveys the bustling, energetic atmosphere of the city. Urban landscape reflects the rapid industrialization and urbanization of early 20th century Hamburg. The work highlights the contrast between the city's modern architecture and the vibrant, often chaotic, life within it. It serves as a visual commentary on the impact of industrial progress on urban environments. Number 3. Elegance in Motion. This piece features streamlined figures engaged in dynamic poses, set against a backdrop of geometric patterns. The painting employs smooth, flowing lines and a sophisticated color palette to convey a sense of movement and grace. The figures are depicted in elegant, flowing attire, emphasizing their fluidity and poise. Elegance in Motion celebrates the beauty and sophistication of the Art Deco era. The dynamic composition and elegant forms reflect the artist's interest in capturing the essence of modern vitality and grace. The work can be interpreted as a tribute to the era's fascination with movement and stylishness. Number 4. The Jazz Age. Integrating elements of jazz music and dance, this artwork features abstract forms and vibrant colors that evoke the lively rhythms of jazz performances. The composition includes energetic, rhythmic lines and bold color contrasts, creating a sense of excitement and movement. The Jazz Age reflects the cultural significance of jazz music during the 1920s. The artwork captures the exuberance and vitality of the jazz era, celebrating the music and dance that defined the cultural landscape of the time. It serves as a visual homage to the influence of jazz on contemporary art and culture. Number 5. Industrial Symphony. This painting combines industrial design elements with Art Deco aesthetics, featuring geometric forms and metallic colors. The composition highlights technological progress and modernity through its use of abstracted industrial motifs and sleek, streamlined lines. Industrial Symphony celebrates the achievements of the industrial age, emphasizing the harmony between art and technology. The work reflects the era's fascination with industrial progress and its impact on modern life. It serves as a commentary on the integration of industrial aesthetics into artistic expression. Apart from these 5 notable pieces, Otto Arpka created other influential works, including commercial illustrations and design projects that further exemplify his contributions to the Art Deco movement. These works also showcase his versatility and adaptation to the evolving artistic trends of his time. Otto Arpka was a significant figure in the Art Deco movement, which emerged in the 1920s and 1930s. Art Deco is characterized by its use of geometric shapes, bold colors, and a streamlined, modern aesthetic that reflects the spirit of the era. The movement represents a departure from the ornate and complex designs of the preceding Art Nouveau style, embracing instead a more simplified and glamorous approach. Arpka's art was deeply inspired by the cultural and technological advancements of his time. The rapid industrialization and urbanization of early 20th century Europe provided a backdrop for his work, influencing his use of geometric forms and streamlined lines. Additionally, the Jazz Age and the rise of modern fashion and design significantly impacted his artistic direction. Arpka was influenced by several key figures in the Art Deco movement. Among his mentors were prominent artists and designers of the time, though specific names may vary. His exposure to these influential figures helped shape his understanding and execution of the Art Deco style. Additionally, he drew inspiration from the works of other notable Art Deco artists, including Tamara de Lampica and Georges Barbier, whose emphasis on elegance, modernity, and abstraction resonated with Arpka's own artistic vision. Arpka contributed to the Art Deco movement through his innovative use of geometric shapes and streamlined forms, which became hallmarks of the style. He was known for incorporating a sense of movement and dynamism into his work, often depicting figures and objects in ways that emphasized their elegance and modernity. His approach to blending vibrant colors with sleek, architectural lines helped to define the Art Deco aesthetic. One of Arpka's key innovations was his ability to merge traditional artistic techniques with modern design elements. His works often featured a combination of abstract patterns and realistic details, creating a visually striking balance that was both contemporary and sophisticated. Art Deco, also known as Decorative, emerged in the early 20th century and is characterized by its emphasis on elegance, luxury, and modernity. The movement is marked by the use of geometric shapes, rich colors, and a streamlined, functional aesthetic. Art Deco was influenced by a range of sources, including Cubism, Futurism, and the decorative arts of ancient civilizations. It aimed to reflect the advancements and optimism of the era, celebrating technological progress and the spirit of innovation. Arpka was influenced by the materials and techniques used in Art Deco design. He often employed a combination of traditional painting methods with modern materials and finishes. His use of bold colors, metallic paints, and smooth, polished surfaces was typical of the Art Deco style. The incorporation of geometric patterns and stylized forms into his works reflected the movement's fascination with modern technology and industrial design. Arpka's art exemplifies the Art Deco movement's focus on luxury and modernity, and his innovative approach to blending traditional and contemporary elements helped to shape the evolution of the style. His contributions to the movement are evident in the way he embraced the aesthetics of the time, creating works that continue to resonate with the elegance and dynamism of early 20th century design. In the later years of Otto Arpka's life, he experienced a period of significant historical change. The rise of the Nazi regime in Germany in the 1830s brought about severe cultural and political upheaval, which had a profound impact on artists and intellectuals across the country. Art Deco, with its associations with modernity and luxury, faced increasing scrutiny under the new regime's emphasis on traditional and nationalist views. This political climate created challenges for Arpka's career, limiting opportunities for exhibitions and commissions. Despite these difficulties, Arpka continued to work and adapt his style to the changing environment. He remained dedicated to his art, although the economic and political pressures of the time influenced his work and its reception. The outbreak of World War II further complicated his life, as the conflict led to widespread disruption and hardship across Europe. Growing up in a period of significant social and political change, Belzoa came from a family with a deep appreciation for the arts. Her parents were well-educated and supportive of her artistic ambitions, fostering an environment that encouraged her creative development. Belzoa's formative years were marked by the political turbulence of early 20th century Russia. The country was undergoing profound changes, including the fall of the Russian Empire, the Russian Revolution of 1917, and the establishment of the Soviet Union. This era was characterized by political upheaval, economic instability, and significant cultural shifts. The social landscape was influenced by revolutionary ideals, which permeated various aspects of life, including the arts. Belzowa pursued her art education at the Imperial Academy of Arts in St. Petersburg, one of Russia's most prestigious art institutions. There, she studied under renowned artists and mentors who played a crucial role in shaping her artistic style. The rigorous training at the academy provided her with a solid foundation in traditional art techniques, while the revolutionary cultural environment of the time exposed her to emerging modernist trends. Throughout her career, Belzowa faced several adversities, including the challenges posed by the shifting political landscape and the social restrictions imposed by the Soviet regime. Despite these obstacles, she continued to develop her distinctive style, which blended elements of Russian avant-garde with the emerging Art Deco movement. Her work was characterized by its use of vibrant colors, geometric forms, and a unique approach to composition that reflected both her classical training and modernist influences. Alexandra Belzowa was known for her innovative use of color and form, which distinguished her work from her contemporaries. Her ability to integrate traditional Russian artistic elements with modernist styles made her a unique figure in the art world. Additionally, she was involved in various cultural and artistic organizations in Russia, contributing to the development of the art scene during a period of intense transformation. Belzowa's work remains a testament to the rich artistic heritage of early 20th century Russia and her ability to navigate and adapt to a rapidly changing cultural landscape. Her contributions to art during a tumultuous period continue to be recognized and celebrated for their originality and depth. Alexandra Belzowa significantly influenced the development of the Russian avant-garde movement, particularly during the early 20th century. Her work exemplifies the fusion of traditional Russian art with modernist approaches, contributing to the evolution of Russian modernism and Art Deco. Belzowa's innovative use of color, abstraction, and form helped to shape the visual language of these movements, making her a key figure in their development. Belzowa's art was inspired by a combination of Russian folk art, classical Russian painting, and contemporary European movements. She was particularly influenced by the vibrant colors and geometric patterns of Russian folk traditions, which she integrated with the modernist elements she encountered during her studies and professional work. The socio-political changes in Russia, including the revolutionary spirit and the cultural shifts of the 1920s and 1930s, also played a crucial role in shaping her artistic vision. During her education at the Imperial Academy of Arts in St. Petersburg, Belzowa studied under prominent Russian artists and mentors who played a significant role in her development. These included artists who were involved in the early stages of the Russian avant-garde movement, providing her with a solid foundation in modernist techniques and concepts. The Academy's emphasis on both traditional techniques and emerging modernist trends helped Belzowa to blend these influences into her own distinctive style. Belzowa was influenced by several key figures in the Russian avant-garde and European modernist movements. The works of artists such as Kazimir Malevich, with his emphasis on abstraction and geometric forms, and Vasily Kandinsky, known for his pioneering work in abstract art, were significant in shaping her approach. Additionally, the Art Deco movement's focus on elegance, geometric precision, and decorative elements resonated with Belzowa's artistic sensibilities, informing her use of color and composition. Belzowa's contributions to the art world are marked by her innovative use of abstraction and geometric forms within the context of Russian modernism. She combined traditional Russian motifs with modernist techniques, creating a unique fusion that distinguished her work from that of her contemporaries. Her approach to color and composition reflected a deep engagement with both folk traditions and contemporary art trends, resulting in a distinctive style that bridged these worlds. The art movement most associated with Belzowa is the Russian avant-garde, which emerged in the early 20th century and was characterized by its experimental approach to art and its emphasis on abstraction and innovation. The Russian avant-garde sought to break away from traditional artistic conventions, exploring new forms and ideas in response to the cultural and political upheavals of the time. Belzowa's work also aligns with elements of Art Deco, which is known for its emphasis on geometric shapes, streamlined forms, and decorative patterns. Art Deco emerged in the 1920s and 1930s and is characterized by its luxurious and modern aesthetic. Belzowa's artistic practice was influenced by a range of materials and techniques. She utilized vibrant oil paints and tempera, which allowed her to achieve the rich colors and dynamic compositions seen in her work. Her use of geometric patterns and abstract forms was facilitated by these materials, enabling her to explore and experiment with various textures and effects. The combination of traditional and modern materials reflected her innovative approach and her ability to integrate different influences into a cohesive artistic vision. In her later years, Alexandra Belzowa continued to navigate the complex political and cultural landscape of Soviet Russia. The 1930s and 1940s were marked by significant political repression and changes under Stalin's regime, which affected many artists and intellectuals. During this period, the Soviet government increasingly enforced socialist realism as the dominant art form, limiting the freedom of expression and experimental approaches that artists like Belzowa had previously enjoyed. Despite these challenges, Belzowa remained active in the art world. She continued to work and exhibit her art, although the political climate made it increasingly difficult for her to pursue her modernist inclinations openly. Her work during this time reflected the constraints imposed by the regime, but also showed her resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity. There is limited publicly available information about Belzowa's direct descendants or heirs. However, her influence on contemporary Russian art and her role in the development of Russian modernism has been recognized by art historians and scholars. Her innovative approach and distinctive style have inspired subsequent generations of artists interested in blending traditional and modernist elements. Alexandra Belzowa's contributions to art and culture have left a lasting impact, particularly in the context of Russian modernism and Art Deco. Her ability to merge traditional Russian art forms with modernist and avant-garde influences helped to shape the trajectory of Russian art during a period of significant change. Her works remain a testament to her innovative spirit and her role in bridging different artistic traditions. Belzowa's art continues to be studied and appreciated for its unique blend of vibrant colors, abstract forms, and cultural references. Her influence is evident in the work of contemporary artists who explore the intersection of traditional and modernist approaches, making her a significant figure in the history of Russian art. Her legacy endures through the continued recognition of her work and the ongoing exploration of the artistic movements she helped shape. Growing up in a vibrant and culturally rich environment, Maura was exposed to a variety of artistic influences from an early age. Her family was supportive of her artistic inclinations, and her father, a respected engineer, encouraged her creative pursuits. Her early exposure to the city's artistic scene, including its renowned theaters and galleries, greatly influenced her future work. Maura's early years coincided with a period of significant political and social change in Hungary. The aftermath of World War I and the subsequent establishment of the Hungarian Soviet Republic in 1919, followed by the rise of the conservative Horthy regime, created a climate of instability and change. These tumultuous times affected many artists, and Maura was no exception. The political shifts and economic hardships of the 1920s and 1930s provided a backdrop of uncertainty that influenced her work and career. Vala Moro attended the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Budapest, where she studied under prominent Hungarian artists. Her education provided her with a solid foundation in classical techniques, but it was her exposure to the burgeoning Art Deco movement that truly shaped her artistic style. Influenced by the modernist trends and the geometric forms of Art Deco, Moro began to incorporate these elements into her own work, blending them with traditional Hungarian motifs. One interesting fact about Moro is that she was a member of a small group of avant-garde artists in Hungary who were instrumental in introducing Art Deco to Eastern Europe. Her work was known for its fusion of traditional Hungarian folk art with modernist styles, creating a unique aesthetic that was both innovative and deeply rooted in her cultural heritage. Moro's personal life was relatively private. She married a fellow artist who was also involved in the Art Deco movement. Their partnership was both personal and professional, as they often collaborated on projects and exhibitions. Despite the supportive nature of their relationship, the couple faced numerous challenges, including financial difficulties and the impact of political instability on their work. The rise of fascism in Europe and the onset of World War II had a profound impact on Moro's life and career. During the war, she faced considerable hardship, including the loss of many of her works and the disruption of her artistic practice. Although she was not imprisoned, the war's effects on her personal and professional life were significant, leading to periods of intense struggle and uncertainty. 5 most famous works by Vala Moro. The Dancers. The Dancers is a vibrant and dynamic painting that captures a lively dance scene. The composition features a group of elegantly dressed figures in mid-motion, surrounded by geometric patterns and stylized floral elements. The use of bold, contrasting colors and rhythmic lines creates a sense of movement and energy, characteristic of Art Deco's emphasis on modernity and grace. This piece reflects Moro's fascination with the fluidity of movement and the human form. The vibrant colors and geometric patterns are intended to evoke the excitement and elegance of dance, symbolizing the joy and cultural vibrancy of the era. The stylized representation of the dancers suggests a blend of traditional cultural themes with a modern artistic approach. Art Deco Still Life. Art Deco still life is a meticulously arranged composition of objects including vases, fruits, and flowers, all rendered in a sleek, geometric style. The painting utilizes a restrained color palette with metallic tones and sharp lines, emphasizing the Art Deco fascination with symmetry and luxury. This work highlights Moro's ability to merge everyday objects with a sophisticated artistic style. The still life reflects the influence of Art Deco's emphasis on elegance and luxury, using its geometric forms to elevate the mundane into a high art form. It also underscores the era's interest in the opulence of material culture. Hungarian Landscape. In Hungarian Landscape, Moro presents a stylized view of the Hungarian countryside, featuring rolling hills, quaint cottages, and a serene sky. The composition is marked by bold, simplified forms and a use of vibrant, contrasting colors. The painting's style reflects both the natural beauty of Hungary and the geometric abstraction of Art Deco. This work represents Moro's deep connection to her homeland, blending traditional Hungarian landscapes with modernist abstraction. The painting captures the essence of the Hungarian landscape through a modern lens, reflecting both a reverence for nature and a commitment to innovative artistic expression. The Urban Metropolis. The urban metropolis depicts a bustling cityscape with towering buildings, busy streets, and streamlined cars. The painting uses a palette of cool, metallic colors and incorporates geometric shapes to create a sense of urban dynamism and modernity. The composition is highly structured, reflecting the organized chaos of a thriving metropolis. This work captures the excitement and complexity of modern urban life. The geometric abstraction of the cityscape conveys the artist's fascination with the technological advances and architectural innovations of the time. It symbolizes the rapid changes and progress of the 20th century, reflecting the modernist aspirations of Art Deco. Elegance in motion. Elegance in motion portrays a graceful, elongated female figure in a flowing dress, set against a backdrop of abstract shapes and patterns. The use of smooth lines, rich textures, and a sophisticated color scheme emphasizes the fluidity and elegance of the figure. This piece celebrates the beauty and elegance of the human form through the lens of Art Deco's aesthetic principles. The stylized representation of the figure and the integration of abstract patterns highlights Moro's interest in combining traditional themes with modernist techniques. It reflects the artist's dedication to portraying beauty and sophistication. Other well-known works by Vala Moro. Morning in Budapest. The Modernist Portrait. Geometric Harmony. Floral Reverie. City Lights. These additional works further showcase Moro's distinctive style and her contribution to the Art Deco movement. Vala Moro was a prominent figure within the Art Deco movement, and her work significantly influenced the development and propagation of this style. Art Deco, which emerged in the 1920s and 1930s, is characterized by its emphasis on elegance, luxury, and geometric abstraction. Moro's contributions helped solidify the movement's focus on streamlined forms and opulent aesthetics. Moro's art was inspired by a variety of sources, including modernist aesthetics. The early 20th century shift towards abstraction and geometric forms profoundly influenced her work. Art Deco's emphasis on streamlined and ornamental design elements can be seen throughout her portfolio. Cultural heritage. Her Hungarian background provided a rich source of traditional motifs and themes, which she integrated into her modernist approach, creating a fusion of local and international styles. Important teachers or mentors. Alexandra Exter. A notable mentor, Exter was instrumental in shaping Moro's early artistic direction. Exter's influence can be seen in Moro's use of geometric forms and vibrant color schemes. Paul Collin. As a leading figure in the Art Deco movement, Collin's work provided Moro with a framework for incorporating dynamic compositions and sleek designs. Influences from other artists. Tamara de Lampica. Known for her distinct Art Deco style, Lampica's exploration of elegance and modernity in portraiture resonated with Moro and inspired her approach to depicting the human form. Gustav Klimt. Klimt's decorative style and use of bold patterns influenced Moro's approach to integrating ornamental elements within her works. Vala Moro distinguished herself through several innovative practices. Integration of geometric abstraction. Moro's ability to blend traditional Hungarian motifs with modern geometric abstraction was a hallmark of her work, bringing a fresh perspective to Art Deco. Dynamic use of color and pattern. She employed vibrant colors and intricate patterns to enhance the visual impact of her compositions, emphasizing movement and elegance in a way that was both modern and rooted in historical aesthetics. Art movement explanation. Art Deco is an art movement that originated in the 1920s and 1930s, characterized by its embrace of luxury, glamour, and technological progress. It features sleek, streamlined forms, geometric shapes, and a mix of modern materials and traditional motifs. Art Deco is noted for its opulence and decorative elements, often integrating elements of cubism, futurism, and traditional decorative arts. Valamoro was influenced by a variety of materials, which she skillfully incorporated into her art. Metals and enamels. Reflecting the Art Deco fascination with luxurious materials, Moro used metallic tones and enamel effects to create a sense of elegance and sophistication in her paintings. Bold colors and patterns. She used a range of vivid colors and intricate patterns to enhance the visual depth and dynamism of her works. These materials helped her achieve the distinctively sleek and modern look associated with Art Deco. In her later years, Valamoro continued to be an influential figure in the art world, maintaining an active presence in the Art Deco movement. However, her career and personal life were not without challenges. The political and social upheavals in Europe during and after World War II had a profound impact on her life and work. Historical changes. World War II. The global conflict significantly disrupted the art world, including the careers of many artists in Europe. The war's impact on cultural institutions and the movement of artists across borders affected Moro's ability to exhibit and promote her work. Post-war Europe. The post-war period saw significant shifts in artistic trends and cultural priorities. The rise of new art movements and the changing political landscape influenced the reception of Moro's work and her place within the art world. Valamoro had a few notable followers and students who carried forward her legacy. Some of her students and protégés continued to explore and expand upon the Art Deco style, incorporating her techniques and philosophies into their own work. Although specific details about her descendants are limited, it is known that her influence extended to subsequent generations of artists and designers who drew inspiration from her innovative approach. Valamoro's date of death is unknown. Even after her death, Valamoro's contributions to contemporary art and culture remain significant. Her work is celebrated as a key example of Art Deco's luxurious and geometric aesthetic. Her influence is evident in the continued popularity of Art Deco-inspired design in various fields, including architecture, fashion, and visual arts. Moro's innovative use of color, pattern, and geometric forms continues to inspire artists and designers. Her work has been featured in retrospectives and exhibitions that highlight the enduring appeal of Art Deco. Valamoro's legacy endures through her artistic innovations and the continued admiration of her work by art enthusiasts and scholars. Her ability to blend traditional motifs with modernist elements has cemented her place as a pivotal figure in the Art Deco movement, ensuring that her contributions to art and culture remain influential to this day. Growing up in a culturally vibrant city like Stockholm, Gate was exposed to a variety of artistic influences from an early age. During Simon Gate's lifetime, Sweden was experiencing significant social and political changes. The early 20th century was a period of modernization and cultural transformation in Sweden, marked by a move away from traditional values towards a more progressive and modern society. This period saw the rise of various artistic movements, including Art Deco, which significantly influenced Gate's work. Gate faced several challenges during his career. As an artist, he struggled with the transition from traditional forms of art to modernist expressions, which were often met with resistance from more conservative circles. Despite these difficulties, he persevered and became a prominent figure in the Swedish art scene. Gate's formal education in art began at the Royal Swedish Academy of Fine Arts in Stockholm, where he studied from 1902 to 1907. His time at the Academy was formative, allowing him to explore various artistic styles and techniques. The Academy's emphasis on classical training provided a solid foundation, but Gate was also exposed to the emerging Art Deco movement, which would later become a defining feature of his work. Simon Gates' work is notable for its unique combination of classical and modernist elements. His sculptures and decorative works often feature intricate details and a distinct Art Deco style, characterized by bold geometric forms and elegant lines. One of his notable contributions to Swedish art is his involvement in the design of the Swedish Pavilion at the 1925 International Exposition of Modern Industrial and Decorative Arts in Paris, which showcased his Art Deco influences. Simon Gates' personal life was relatively private. He was married to Sigrid Oldelburg, a fellow artist, in 1910. Their marriage was a significant partnership in both personal and professional terms, as Oldelburg was also involved in the art world and supported Gates' career. The couple's collaboration and mutual support were crucial to Gates' artistic development. Throughout his career, Gates faced several challenges, including the struggle to establish himself in a rapidly evolving art world. The shift towards modernism and the rise of new artistic movements posed difficulties, as Gates sought to integrate these new styles into his own work while maintaining his distinctive artistic vision. Despite these challenges, Gates' perseverance and dedication to his craft allowed him to make significant contributions to the Art Deco movement. In addition to his artistic career, Gates experienced periods of financial difficulty, which impacted his ability to pursue large-scale projects. However, his resilience and commitment to his work enabled him to overcome these obstacles and leave a lasting impact on Swedish art. Simon Gates' legacy continues to be celebrated for his innovative approach to Art Deco and his ability to blend traditional and modern elements in his work. His contributions to Swedish art and design remain influential, and his works are still admired for their elegance and craftsmanship. Simon Gates was a key proponent of the Art Deco movement, which emerged in the 1920s and 1930s. This style is characterized by its emphasis on geometric shapes, rich colors, and a luxurious aesthetic. Art Deco combined modernist styles with fine craftsmanship and elegant forms, reflecting both technological advancements and opulence. Gates' work helped shape this movement by integrating these principles into a wide range of artistic and architectural projects. Gates was influenced by the broader modernist movement, which sought to break away from traditional forms and explore new materials and techniques. The emphasis on geometric abstraction and streamlined forms in modernism provided a foundation for Gates' Art Deco style. Elements of classical art, such as symmetry and proportion, can be seen in Gates' work, though he adapted these elements with a modernist twist. Gates was innovative in his use of materials, combining traditional craftsmanship with modern materials, such as stainless steel and aluminum. This blend allowed him to achieve both durability and aesthetic appeal in public artworks. His work featured a precise use of geometric forms and patterns, which was a hallmark of Art Deco. Gates' ability to create complex, elegant designs with clean lines set him apart in the field. In the later part of Simon Gates' life, he continued to work actively on various projects, solidifying his reputation as a prominent figure in the Art Deco movement. During the 1930s and 1940s, Gates' works were increasingly featured in prominent public spaces, including buildings and urban installations. His art became synonymous with the Art Deco style, and he was widely recognized for his contributions to both the aesthetic and functional aspects of public art. During Gates' later years, Europe experienced significant historical changes, including the rise of World War II and its aftermath. The war and its impact on the art world influenced many artists, including Gates. Despite the upheaval, Gates managed to maintain his artistic practice and adapt to the changing times. The post-war era saw a shift in artistic trends, but Gates' work remained influential as a representation of the opulent and decorative Art Deco style. Simon Gates did not have any notable descendants who continued his artistic legacy in a direct way. However, his work inspired many contemporary artists and designers who appreciated the intricate and luxurious aspects of Art Deco. His contributions were widely acknowledged and celebrated by art historians and critics, ensuring that his influence persisted beyond his lifetime. His influence is evident in the continued appreciation of Art Deco in contemporary design and architecture. Gates' innovative use of materials and geometric forms has left a lasting impact on public art, particularly in the way Art Deco elements are integrated into modern urban landscapes. His legacy is maintained through the preservation of his works in museums and public spaces, serving as a testament to his artistic vision and the enduring appeal of Art Deco. Simon Gates' contribution to art and design remains significant, reflecting the sophistication and grandeur of the Art Deco era. His work continues to be studied and admired for its artistic achievements and its role in shaping the visual culture of the early 20th century. Tamara de Lempicka. Tamara de Lempicka was born on May 16, 1898, in Warsaw, Poland, then part of the Russian Empire. Her birth name was Tamara Rosalia Gerwick-Gorska. She came from a wealthy, upper-class Jewish family. Her father, a successful textile manufacturer, and her mother, a cultured and socialite woman, provided Tamara with a privileged upbringing. Her early exposure to the arts was facilitated by her family's social circles and their appreciation for culture and sophistication. From a young age, Lempicka showed an aptitude for drawing and painting. Her family's resources allowed her to study art privately. Influenced by the artistic environment of her upbringing, she became interested in the emerging modernist movements. Her early influences included the vibrant cultural life of Warsaw and exposure to various European art forms, including Art Deco and Cubism. In 1916, Tamara de Lempicka moved to St. Petersburg with her family. The Russian Revolution of 1917 and the ensuing chaos significantly impacted her life. Her family's wealth and status were severely affected, and they eventually fled Russia. They relocated to Paris in 1920, a city that would become central to Lempicka's career. In Paris, Lempicka studied at the Académie de la Grande Chaumière and the Académie Ranson. Although she never formally trained at a major art institution, these art schools provided her with valuable connections and exposure to contemporary artistic trends. Paris was a hotbed of artistic innovation, and Lempicka immersed herself in the city's dynamic art scene. Tamara de Lempicka became one of the leading figures of the Art Deco movement, known for her distinctive style that combined neoclassicism with modernist elements. Her work is characterized by its bold geometric forms, strong lines, and vibrant colors, often depicting glamorous and sophisticated subjects. Lempicka's paintings from the 1920s and 1930s include portraits of high society figures, nudes, and still lifes, all executed with a sense of elegance and luxury. Her work was celebrated for its depictions of modern femininity and its blend of classical and modern aesthetics. Lempicka's career unfolded during a time of significant social and political change. The 1920s and 1930s in Europe were marked by economic upheaval, political instability, and the rise of fascism. In Paris, she was part of the city's vibrant art scene, which was influenced by the broader cultural shifts of the period, including the fascination with modernity and the decadence of the Roaring Twenties. The political climate in Europe also impacted Lempicka's life and career. The rise of Nazism in Germany and the growing tensions in Europe affected many artists and intellectuals. Lempicka, who was of Jewish heritage, faced challenges related to her background and the shifting political landscape. Tamara de Lempicka married Tadeusz Lempicki, a wealthy Polish lawyer, in 1916. The couple had a daughter, Kazette, born in 1923. However, their marriage became strained as Lempicka's career took off. The couple eventually divorced in 1931. Lempicka's personal life was marked by a series of high-profile relationships. She was known for her romantic involvement with several prominent figures in the art and social worlds. One of her notable relationships was with the famous French painter and art dealer Maurice Beauval. Her relationships often reflected her glamorous and sophisticated persona, which was also evident in her art. The political changes in Europe, including the outbreak of World War II, significantly affected Lempicka's career. She and her daughter fled Paris during the German occupation and settled in the United States. In New York, Lempicka continued to paint, but found it challenging to regain her former prominence in the American art scene. In the later years of her life, Lempicka's work became less fashionable as artistic tastes shifted. She faced financial difficulties and struggled to maintain her high society lifestyle. Despite these challenges, she continued to paint and remained active in the art world. Here are 5 of the most famous works by Tamara de Lempicka. Portrait of the Marquis de Pompadour, 1930. This painting is a striking portrait of the Marquis de Pompadour, a historical figure from 18th century France. Lempicka's version of the Marquis is rendered with her signature Art Deco style, featuring sharp geometric lines and a stylized, glamorous portrayal. The Marquis is depicted in a sophisticated pose, wearing an elaborate gown with intricate details. The background is a rich, deep blue, contrasting with the Marquis's pale complexion and the vibrant hues of her clothing. Lempicka's portrayal of the Marquis de Pompadour reflects her fascination with historical elegance and opulence, as well as her ability to blend modernist aesthetics with classical themes. The use of bold colors and geometric forms highlights the Marquis's regal and glamorous persona, creating a timeless image that bridges historical and contemporary styles. Self-Portrait in the Green Bugatti, 1929. In this iconic self-portrait, Tamara de Lempicka is depicted in a luxurious green Bugatti, a symbol of wealth and modernity. She appears confidently at the wheel, dressed in a chic and stylish outfit. The composition is marked by sharp lines, bold colors, and a sleek, almost futuristic background. The green of the car contrasts dramatically with the angular shapes and muted tones surrounding it. This self-portrait showcases Lempicka's flair for self-promotion and her embrace of modernity and luxury. The Bugatti serves as a symbol of her success and sophistication, while the Art Deco style emphasizes her confidence and independence. The painting reflects both her personal identity and the broader cultural trends of the 1920s, celebrating both individual success and the opulence of the era. The Musician, 1929. The Musician depicts a female figure, seated and holding a violin, surrounded by a dynamic composition of angular forms and vibrant colors. The figure is rendered with Lempicka's characteristic stylized approach, with smooth, polished surfaces and a highly composed arrangement of shapes. The background features a blend of geometric patterns that complement the figure's elegant pose. This painting reflects Lempicka's interest in combining classical themes with modernist aesthetics. The musician's graceful pose and the use of bold, geometric forms highlight the harmony between the classical art form of music and the contemporary style of Art Deco. The painting can be seen as a tribute to both the artistry and the modern elegance of the period. Sleeping, 1931. In Sleeping, Lempicka presents a sensuous depiction of a reclining female nude. The composition is characterized by smooth, fluid lines and a minimalist background that draws attention to the figure's graceful curves. The use of soft, muted colors and the careful rendering of light and shadow contribute to the painting's tranquil and intimate atmosphere. This work exemplifies Lempicka's ability to merge sensuality with a refined, modernist aesthetic. The painting captures the elegance and calm of the sleeping figure, while the Art Deco style adds a layer of sophistication. The work reflects themes of beauty and relaxation, emphasizing the artist's focus on the female form and her skill in creating intimate yet glamorous representations. The Green Dress, 1929. The green dress features a fashionable woman in a striking green dress, set against a geometric, abstract background. The figure is portrayed with Lempicka's characteristic sharp lines and streamlined forms, and the dress is rendered with a high level of detail and texture. The overall composition is both dynamic and elegant, reflecting the stylishness of the subject. This painting showcases Lempicka's fascination with fashion and modern elegance. The green dress and the geometric background emphasize the subject's sophistication and the contemporary style of the 1920s. The painting reflects Lempicka's interest in high society and glamour, capturing the essence of modern chic through her distinctive Art Deco lens. Other well-known works by Tamara de Lempicka: Adam and Eve, 1932. Autoportrait, 1929. The Young Lady with Gloves, 1930. Portrait of a Young Girl, 1929. My Portrait, 1930. These works, alongside the 5 listed, further highlight Lempicka's contributions to Art Deco and her unique approach to portraiture and modernist art. In the later years of Tamara de Lempicka's life, she faced both personal and professional challenges. After World War II, Lempicka's prominence as an artist began to wane as the Art Deco style fell out of fashion and was overshadowed by newer artistic movements such as abstract expressionism. This shift in the art world posed difficulties for Lempicka, who struggled to adapt to changing tastes and regain her former fame. In the 1940s, Lempicka moved to the United States with her daughter, Cosette. They settled in New York City, where Lempicka attempted to revive her career. However, despite her efforts, she found it challenging to reestablish her place in the American art scene, which was increasingly dominated by new styles and artists. In the 1950s, Lempicka relocated to Mexico, where she lived out the remainder of her life. Her move to Mexico was partially driven by the desire for a more favorable climate and a new environment. Although she continued to paint and was active in the art community, her work did not regain the same level of commercial success or recognition that it had enjoyed earlier in her career. Tamara de Lempicka had one daughter, Cosette, born in 1923. Cosette was a constant presence in her mother's life and career, and after Lempicka's death, she managed her mother's estate and legacy. Cosette passed away in 2002, but during her lifetime, she worked to preserve and promote Lempicka's work. Tamara de Lempicka passed away on March 18, 1980, in Cuernavaca, Mexico. She was 81 years old. Her final resting place is in the Panthéon Français in Mexico City. Her grave is marked with a simple yet elegant headstone, reflecting the artist's understated and sophisticated style. Tamara de Lempicka's contributions to art and culture have had a lasting impact, particularly in the realm of Art Deco. Her distinctive style, characterized by bold geometric forms, vibrant colors, and glamorous subjects, has continued to influence artists and designers. Art Deco Revival. Lempicka's work played a significant role in defining and popularizing the Art Deco style. Her glamorous, modernist approach to portraiture and her sophisticated use of color and form have been influential in subsequent art movements and design aesthetics. Cultural icon. Lempicka's paintings, particularly her portraits of high society figures, remain iconic representations of the Roaring '20s and 1930s. Her work captures the elegance and opulence of the era, and her style has become synonymous with the Art Deco movement. Legacy in art history. In recent decades, there has been a renewed interest in Lempicka's work. Her paintings are featured in major exhibitions and collections worldwide, and she is often celebrated for her unique contribution to modernist art. Her influence can be seen in various aspects of contemporary design, fashion, and visual culture. Inspiration for modern artists. Lempicka's approach to portraiture and her use of modernist techniques have inspired many contemporary artists. Her ability to blend classical themes with modern aesthetics continues to resonate with new generations of creators. Overall, Tamara de Lempicka's legacy is marked by her innovative approach to art and her ability to capture the essence of an era through her distinctive style. Her contributions to Art Deco and modernist art remain significant, and her work continues to be celebrated and appreciated for its artistic brilliance and cultural impact.